Welcome back to Steve Rob Reviews. Today we're going to have some fun. You guys are going to have a good chuckle at all the preparation I go through whenever I get a new piece of equipment. Now, I got a new lawn tractor in December of 2019, and the first thing that I do, well, I start to describe what do you need when you buy a new lawn tractor. Well, if you're going to use it in the city, well, you can just, as time goes by, get the parts you need and, like oil filters and fuel filters and belts and that kind of stuff. And, but when you take it way up to a remote location like I am up in Northern Ontario, well, you got to be prepared. And I'm going to show you exactly what I do. And I've got some of these here are from all the equipment I have. Not all of them, but all the ones that I could fit in here for today. So I'm going to show you exactly what I do and how I get prepared. And it's a lot of investigation goes into how to get your parts needed to run a piece of machinery. Because I'll tell you right now, if I tried to buy the factory parts for this MTD Gold lawn tractor with the Kohler engine, well, it would be 3 times the price of the parts or more that I actually picked up aftermarket. Now, not all aftermarket parts are good, not all aftermarket parts are bad, but over the years you learn which parts are good, which parts are bad, which ones actually fit and which ones don't. So let's take a look at some of the stuff that I got here for my MTD Gold lawn tractor, and I'm just going to show you, my chainsaw stuff. And this is what I do all the time. So let's take a look and let's see what I do. Let's start off at the bottom here. Still MS-170. And then we got the MS-260. And then I've got my brush cutter FS-240 and my FS-85. And then I got my Makita 73cc chainsaw. And at the top, my Stihl MS-360 chainsaw. Over here is all for these 3 bins here are all for my new MTD Gold lawn tractor. So let's take a look at some of these things and see why somebody would have all these containers for your machinery. But you know what? There's a little bit of logic to this, a little bit of reasoning. So let's take a look right now. So if you're going to take your piece of machinery out in the bush, like your trimmer or your chainsaw, what I do is I like to write all the specs on the top of the container. And it's so easy for if I'm up there with somebody else, they know exactly what container to grab, they know all the specs for it, and you don't get things mixed up, because the last thing you want to do is have the wrong chain on the wrong saw, or the parts don't match, this kind of stuff. So this is a very inexpensive. These here were about $4 each. These all have to be about, well, between around 7 to 8 years old, all of these. And these ones here are all brand new, just for the MTD Gold lawn tractor. So let's take a look at some of the stuff for the MTD Gold lawn tractor. Okay, box number 1. How much was this? I think this was like $4 or something. Maybe the tag's still on there. Yeah, that's $4 for this container. And what do I got in here? Well, I've got Wix oil filters. Took me a while to figure out which ones went on here. And for my first oil change on the machine, you want to go with just a regular oil filter, not the XP. The XP is for synthetic oil. So the first oil change will be with the regular. Now this little box here, this is for spark plugs. Now you get 3 of these at your dollar store, 3 of these containers, and they fit exactly 2 spark plugs. And these are the ones for the machine. I checked, and I make sure they're gapped. And how easy can that be? Now, why do you want to put these in this container like this? Well, so you don't have any problems. Now I'll tell you something, this is going up north, and if I didn't put that in a box, there'd be all kinds of bugs living in each one of these containers, flies, you name it. So you know what? This is a good thing to do because it keeps everything sealed. So let's go on to the next container. Well, let's take a look at box number 2 here. Okay, so I picked up these filters, guys. I'm going to review these in the future. 4 of these for $20. Now, if you've got 700 or 7000 series Kohler engine, MTD lawn tractor, well, I tell you what, try and buy 1 for that price. And right here, well, I showed these before. Now this is my Stihl FS240. I use that a lot. I got 10 of these filters, 20 bucks. Well, in here is just my, this is for my Cub Cadet or MTD, made by MTD. Now this is the air filters for the self-propelled lawnmower. So, you know what? I'll put a link down below if you want for this particular video on this, because I found this was very fascinating, how you can get these FS240 filters for that cheap. And you guys let me know if you think it's a smoking deal. Would you buy these? And I'm going to review these in the future when it's time to change them. And let's go on to the last box. Well, here's the last one right here. And first thing you're going to notice, yeah, fuel filters. The manual says to put 1 fuel filter on a year. So guess what I'm going to do? Put 1 fuel filter on a year. Well, inside I also put down the filters. Now, 33001 is the wrong filter for that. And you know, the surprising thing was that when I bought these filters, the filter you're supposed to put on it is 33011. But they shipped me 4 of the wrong ones, and these are 2 of the right ones. And there is the proper one, 33011. So, you know what? I kept the filters anyways because Amazon didn't want them back. So I thought that was pretty good, and maybe I can use them for something else, or maybe they just might go on there. I'm not too sure. So then you need the belts. So what I do is I actually keep the tags from the belts. One is for your drive and the other one is for the deck. And this here is actually just the materials needed to flush out your deck with a hose on there, and you use water, and it's very simple. So I mean, you put this all in here and you put it up on the shelf up in my camp, you set it, and you forget it. So yes, there is an expense in doing this type of thing. The expense of this is probably around $40 in all these containers. And you know what? Is it worth spending $40? I think it is. Or for many, depending on which country you live in the world. But I mean, these were $4 each. I don't know, it's been a long time ago. These were about $4 or $5 each as well. And when you have various pieces of equipment, I've seen so many, well, shops that I've gone to and people's garages and that kind of thing. And, you know, they might spend $100 on parts for their particular machine, but they can't find them because, you know, they're put away in a bag or, you know, this kind of stuff. And gods know where these parts are and what they're for. And you look 10 years later when you need a part, or even 5 years, and you wonder, which part does this go on? If you have multiple pieces of machinery, like chainsaws. I got lots of chainsaws. And if I didn't sort all this stuff out, well, it's not going to go so well. So thanks for joining me here today, and I hope you like this little bit of a review of the type of systems that I go through whenever I get a new piece of equipment, and how I know which part is for which machine. And I like the challenge of looking up and finding out exactly if I can get really good quality parts aftermarket compared to, well, I'm going to use the fuel filter for example. The fuel filter for a Kohler engine, the 7000 series by Kohler, is $20 with tax. Cost me $23 for 6 filters of wicks. Now, of course, they sent me 4 that were wrong, but you know, I didn't end up paying for them anyways. They gave me a refund on the wrong filters because you know what? They didn't want them back. Cost more for shipping, I guess, just to send them back. But they may fit. I mean, they're both 1/4 inch line in and out. And you know what? I'll probably try and use them, and I'll show you if they work. So thanks for joining me here today. If you haven't seen this channel before, you're welcome to subscribe. And when I do the first service on the lawn tractor, I'm going to mention some of these parts and how you can save yourself roughly over a 5 to 6 year period of doing the maintenance that's required on them, probably $200, which would more than pay for all these containers. You guys take care. Come back again. Cheers.